All right, guys, welcome to Talk Tactic. We're going to be talking about dreams and having a persona that's worthy of parody. So I kind of like this idea. One that, dreams are important. They're a way for our unconscious mind to process and filter things throughout the day that maybe we haven't consciously put together and made have put some kind of meaning onto it. And there's an example of this for me. I keep having these weird reoccurring dreams about my dad, right? And they're always about my dad, me, and some sort of element of nature. So the first one that I remember was my dad walking to the back of his house where there's a pond,
Hmm.
and there's this huge gator in the pond. And he's
Right.
like, I'll get him out. And I'm like, Dad, it's like the most gigantic monster sized gator ever. And the gator clamps on him and pulls him into the water. And I'm filled with this like fear, right? And I can't, I want to save him, but I can't save him. Who could save him from this huge gator, right? And then there's another time where it's like a bear, and again another time with these huge gators. I think I have this fear of gators, man. And I kept having these dreams, and it made no sense to me. But I realized that the dreams were coming to me because I had this sense that I can't protect my dad from himself, right? Like he leads himself to do certain things whether I agree with it or not, but it's his decisions, and it's like I wish I had some sort of control over that, but I don't have a control over it, right?
Right.
So, in this weird way, like dreams are interestingly, whether we realize it or not, a good way for your unconscious mind to bring together some sort of structure to your subconscious thoughts. At least I
Right.
believe that. That's science.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know if it's science, but I do believe in that. So, you brought up this really cool idea of having a persona worthy of parody, and you had a dream that kind of amplifies this idea. And I think that's really interesting. Now, one of the things here at Talk Tactic that we talk about is having this sort of vision of the man that you want to become, right? That's crucial for your growth. Because wherever you are at right now, how can there be any sort of real valuable change if you don't have some sort of destination that you want to go into? And especially when it's something like personality based, like you want to increase in masculinity, right?
Right.
This kind of abstract in a way to kind of think in these terms. Like, how can you be, if you're a man, if you're a male, how can you become more of a man? Or is that even important? Or is that something valuable, right? Right? So it's
Yeah.
these kind of abstract ideas like this, and then it's easy for other people to come along and possibly jeer at you or something weird like that. But one thing is for sure, if you do decide to stop being a nice guy and go ahead and take your path towards your vision of the man you want to become, the good man, right? People are going to reject the changes in yourself.
Absolutely.
They're gonna reject those, and they're gonna be like, "That's not really you. That's not who you are," right?
Right.
And this is something that everybody who's on this sort of path and journey is gonna have to deal with. And there's gonna be really important people in your life, sometimes the most important people, that will not accept the change from you, or will not accept that you are who you say you're becoming. It could be someone like your brother, who you grew up with and you love, and they're gonna laugh at you because you are becoming this new person, but to them you'll always be this, their little brother or the dorky older brother or who knows, however they see you. So this is just something that you're going to have to come to terms with, that as you change and grow, as you develop your own persona, you become solidify your own character, like who you are, the person that you're comfortable with, the unchained you, the unfiltered you. You're unshackled by, society's sort of pressures and how they want you to act and to be They want you to be completely neutral. They don't want you to disturb anyone's sensitivities. They don't want you to be offensive in any manner. But the truth is, if you're really doing things that you like and that you care about, you're going to probably offend or disturb, agitate someone's sensitivities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to, right? And I like this idea where you have this persona, you develop this persona worth parody. And what does that mean, parody? Well, a lot of times parody is, you always hear the media say that parody is one of the highest forms of flattery, right? Because you've hit a certain pinnacle, a certain point in your life that people are like, they love you or hate you.
Right.
And not only that, but because you are who you are. So take Donald Trump for example, man.
Right.
Donald Trump, whether you love Donald Trump or hate him, he's completely, well, I don't know if he's completely comfortable with himself, but he is who he is all the time. He doesn't turn it off and on for anybody, right?
Right.
Yeah, or you think of like James Dean, like some guy in the past like that. There's something about them that it's just there, and when you are around them, it leaves with you. Their essence leaves with you. And when you have something like that, a remnant of someone, then you can parody that.
You can parody
because it's memorable.
If it's memorable enough, then it's possible to parody it.
Exactly. So this is the sort of power that you get when you have this vision of this good man that you want to become, this man you want to become, and you move towards that. You just got to remember you're going to meet some conflict. There's going to be people that are not going to accept you for who you are. And Jonathan has a story for us about a dream that he had, and he's broken this dream down into different stages of what has happened, how the people in his dream are reacting to him. And this should give you a good sense of this idea of, one, what happens when you start taking the fundamental basic changes to becoming someone, this vision of who you want to be. And as you gradually move in that direction, the way people are going to react to you, whether in a positive or in a negative way. So anyways, I think this is what you're talking about, persona, right? So there's an importance to a persona. One, the importance is you're comfortable with yourself. Two, you know yourself.
Right.
And three, you're living out this sort of vision of who you are, right? That's the importance of having a persona.
Right.
Did you want to expand on that?
I had a dream the other night. Actually, it was the night we did our last video.
Okay.
When you start doing these type of mental exercises, you open up a different compartment of your brain. And when you're dreaming, you tend to remember more about your dreams if you reinforce that memory.
Yeah.
So one of the exercises that I've been doing is I wake up and I've had a dream and I remember it. I remember details about it, and I write down the dream. I write down details about the dream.
All right.
And I've been surprised at the type of details that I remember about the dream. Okay, so I had this dream the other night.
All right. Hit me with it.
And I did this text about it. Okay, so I dreamt I was acting like John Wayne. Now, it was causing a lot of different social effects.
All right.
Basically, the idea was about half of the people were reacting positively to that, and about half the people were reacting negatively.
Okay.
And the people who were reacting positively the people who reacted negatively were accusing me of being a poser.
Ah, okay. I like this. Okay.
And they're saying, that's not real.
That's not you.
That's not you. That's not who you really are. You're putting on a mask.
Right.
Okay. And the people who liked it were rationalizing the things that I did. The person who rationalized it said that he's just acting like Jonathan Traylor. So you could see a clear difference. The people who wanted to reject it and be negative found their reason, and the people who wanted to accept it and embrace it also found their reason. That was no problem.
Right.
They all came at it from their own perspective of what they already wanted how they already wanted to react to it.
So I have a question for you. Were the people that rejected it like people like long time associates and friends and family?
Well, I think everybody in the dream was people that I knew,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't remember who the people were, and I can't remember who was accepting and who was rejecting exactly. I
Right.
didn't write that part down, but so anyway, that was one thing. The other thing is it was different from my usual persona, obviously. So people had to decide if they were going to accept or reject. Now there were 4 stages that I came up with out of this dream,
All right.
and there was a few different other things too, observations. When I started doing this, people were very closely observing me
Right.
because everything that I was doing became sensational.
Okay.
Because I had this persona that was worthy of parody.
Okay.
Okay.
Persona worthy of parody.
Persona
I like
worthy
this.
of parody.
I really like
Right.
this idea.
Actually, another thing that happened was as I would do things at first, like I might not have been the best at it at first before I practiced it. But then towards the end of the dream, as I had practiced it a lot more, things started happening like music would come in to accompany my motion and my movement because it was saying like that was saying to me in the dream that was saying like before you weren't as good as effective at it, and then as you moved on like everything you did like everybody around you and everything around your environment around you reacted to your action. The longer that I did this, the more people tended to accept it, even the people who didn't like it. Over time, they just began to accept and not react so negatively, but they just had this kind of faint dislike that was there, and then they were more accepting
Right.
over time.
They became your haters.
Right. Okay. So then the other thing that happened was the thing about John Wayne is it's not about acting like John Wayne. I figured out from the dream that it's about adopting a masculine persona, and John Wayne is just a step in that direction.
Okay.
Because here's the proof. Who was John Wayne acting like?
John Wayne.
Right.
Himself.
Exactly. So like it goes back to the same thing where somebody's like, well, he's just acting like Jonathan Traylor does. So it's not acting like John Wayne. It's adopting a masculine persona, and the most practical way to grasp that for this person at the point he's at is say, oh, it's like take John Wayne for an example.
Right. I really like that idea, man. That's an amazing thing. All
Okay,
right.
so stage 1 was people watching, some accusing and some defending, depending on what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Stage 2 was people generally accept, but still like or dislike, and they still pay attention. Everything I do is still sensational. Stage 3, people accept me as the masculine authority, whether they like it or not, and react accordingly. That's stage 3.
Okay.
And then stage 4 is people begin to question my genuineness when I stop acting like that and start and adopt another persona. And you see examples of this with Jim Carrey. He's trying to be all serious now, and people are like they don't want to accept that he's not this
Right. He didn't want
this
the
clown anymore.
Yeah.
Right? That interview where he's like, we're just tetrahedron, and then that woman is like,
Yeah, exactly.
like she can't accept it, right?
Yeah, she doesn't even know what a tetrahedron.
She doesn't know how to react to that because he's in stage 4. He's in stage 4 where if he does something different than his persona, then people question his genuineness at that point.
Right.
So let's see, that those were the 4 stages, And then the observations, the general observations of the dream were, when you find a persona worth living, that persona will also be worthy of parody. Every moment becomes sensational. And the second observation was, it's not about acting like John Wayne, it's about acting masculine. And acting like John Wayne is a step in that direction. Who was John Wayne acting like? So this wraps up our video talking about a persona worthy of parody and also tying in dreams to that. And we want you to leave us a comment in the comment section and tell us about your dreams or your persona. Either one would be great.
Help us get to our first 100 subscribers. That'll be a milestone for us.